Tonight we're going to look at a couple of things. First off, we need to have a way to get all that work we did in Audacity, our audio recording, we need to get that over into Shotcut so we can mix that together with the video. And here is my Audacity file, and you can see I've got a lot going on. I've got that fake radio announcer's voice, I've got my own voice, I've got two other people speaking about the pluses and minuses of the 1982 plan. So I've got a lot going on. I've got music that's mixed with it. It's all set to go. And the way we get that then over to Shotcut is just go to File up here, and we're going to export this whole project as an MP3. Okay, so you're going to want to do that. I'm not going to do it right now because it does take a little bit of time, but export it as an MP3, call it something meaningful, and save it. Well, save it to the file where you've got everything else saved, all your research and so forth that you've done thus far. Then you're going to bring up Shotcut. And here is Shotcut. And it's arranged into a number of different areas. It's not exactly intuitive software to use. But here we've got an important area called the playlist. This is going to be all your pieces, parts, all the things that you want to put together into your final project. In the middle here, we're going to see a preview area where you can look at everything that's happening. Right now, it's just talking about some files. Up here on top, these items over here, especially editing and effects, are going to be important buttons down the line. And then down below here, we've got another timeline, and this timeline is really, really similar to over in Audacity. And we're going to have an audio timeline, and we're going to have a video timeline, and we're going to put the two together into hopefully a nice final project. So we've got to get all our pieces parts of what we want to put together here into Shotcut. Hopefully you've got a lot of that organized, a lot of that ready to go, and you don't have to do it all at once, but I like to have it all there and then try to put it all together, put one together with the other. Now, there's a few different ways you can get things onto your playlist. You're going to have all your different parts here on the playlist. You can go here to Open File and then bring in, let's say I want to bring in this building rendering, and I want to make this part of my playlist, part of my final project. And you can see when I do that open file, it brings it up in this preview window for us. If I do want that to be part of my playlist, I can just take that and drag it over into my playlist. And now I've got that as part of my project. The other way to do this, which I find a lot easier, especially if you've got a lot of things and they're already kind of organized, is to just open a folder where you've got everything all saved. Here I've got 1982 FX. That is my MP3 file that I exported from Audacity. And then let's bring all these other things in as well. All these other pieces, parts that I'm going to make part of my final presentation. And actually there's quite a bit more than I've got shown here, but just for simplicity's sake, we're just going to do these parts. Okay, still in my preview window is that rendering. That's okay, we can just leave it there. So now I've got all my pieces parts into this playlist, and we're going to coordinate the audio with all those other parts. And some of these parts could be other video, which I don't have at the moment, but I will have down the road. I'm going to have a little video that goes with this as well. But mostly it's going to be these photographs, and I'm going to be adding motion to these photographs a little bit later as well, which we'll be covering on Wednesday. But if we can get everybody to roughly this point by Wednesday, it's going to make things a lot easier. Also, what you can do, you can get the rough idea going with your visual part and putting it together with your audio part by doing this, okay? So down here is our timeline. On the left here is what they call a hamburger icon. It's stacked up like a hamburger, three things. And go to Track Operations and say Add Audio Track. Now I have got an audio track. And here's my audio that I exported from Audacity, and I'm just going to drag that down to my audio track. And now my project
The Fond du Lac Common Council has declared
just my audio track. And this works a lot like Audacity, so if you were comfortable over there with that, this should be pretty simple for you. Now, we also need, though, in this case, to add, back to the hamburger icon, add a video track. So now we've got another track, and we can add the video to go along with our whatever we're saying or whatever is happening on that audio track, okay? So one of the things over that radio announcer you hear at the beginning there, I want to put in, probably right about there, there's going to be something else here at the very beginning, is this picture of Fraser Point, okay? So let's go here, and you're going to hear that radio announcer playing, and then at a certain point, you're going to see that picture come
of
up.
Lakeside Park is surplus and can be used for development of a hotel and convention center.
Okay, so I can adjust how long I want that picture to be there. So right about there is where that fake radio announcer was done, and I've decided that right after that, I'm going to show a rendering of that big hotel they were going to build. And a lot like in Audacity, we can move these parts around. And I'm going to be doing a lot of zooming and panning and adding motion to this picture. So this is going to go out through a fairly long part of my presentation. Then after that, I'm going to, I didn't mean to put that building rendering right in the middle of my audio. I'm going to highlight that and get rid of it. Actually, let's do Control Z. I'm going to add this discussion here to my video. So it looks like at about 23 seconds, it's going to go from this rendering here to two people discussing what's going on and so forth and so on. So all these different pieces, parts, I can drag them down in the order in which they're going to coordinate with what's happening on the audio. Okay, so if we can get that far for Wednesday, that'll be great. Then I'll show you how to pan and zoom and make things look like they're actually moving around and so forth. And adding video, capturing video is what we'll go through at that time. So hopefully you can get this far. If you have questions, feel free to email me or call me. It's just fine. I'm available all the time. And we will see you on Wednesday.